I'm Tempest, and welcome to my temple. In this sacred space, we use tarot, journaling, and astrology to transform everyday life. And in today's video, I am setting up for Mabon season in my beautiful autumn or fall journal. I've been really excited to get this one going, and the video itself isn't super fancy. It's not a lot of spreads. It's not a lot of detail, except really the first page. But as I move forward in continuing to try and make content here on YouTube for you all, it's really important to me for my videos to be reflective of what is true and what is real and what is authentic for me. And in my journaling practice, things aren't always super detailed. And that doesn't mean they're not worth it to watch. It just means they're perhaps different than some people might expect. Anyways, Mabon season is like practically here. By the time you're seeing this, it is starting in like 2 days. And I could not be more excited. I always feel fall calling to my soul. In my hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere where I live, Mabon is with fall. In the southern hemisphere, it would actually be spring, I believe. Yeah, it would be spring. But here it's fall. It is the final harvest. It is the time when the sun and the earth get further and further away and we pull towards the colder half of the year. And it's quite frankly my favorite season. I don't have a full-fledged practice with the Wheel of the Year, and honestly, that is one of the things I'm trying to grow and develop. And I'm trying to help facilitate for myself and for my Cosmic Coven membership, which that's my YouTube channel membership. In my Cosmic Coven, that's one of the things I'm hoping to help facilitate is the witches who are interested, the people who join my Cosmic Coven who might not identify as witches, who are interested, creating their own correspondences for the Wheel of the Year. I find I've always been really impacted by the turn of the wheel and how the seasons and the tides change. It's one of my favorite things about where I live in Canada. I have all 4 seasons and they're all very distinct. At least they feel that way to me. And fall is it's coming. It's coming fast. It's not fully here yet, but we're turning towards it and we're getting more cooler days than warmer days now. And so I'm hoping that this practice will help facilitate that. And I want to share that with you all too. There is, like, in my Cosmic Coven, I did pull some cards for the Wheel of the Year for us as the Cosmic Coven collective cards. I pulled a tarot card from the Herb Crafters Tarot for each turn of the wheel, and a card from the corresponding Seasons of the Witch Oracle deck, except for Ostara, which hasn't released yet, so obviously I can't pull a card from it yet. That will get added when that deck comes out in February, and I'm so excited for that one. Anyways, I pull those cards just to give my Cosmic Coven kind of something to work with, to try and build their own correspondences if that's a thing they are interested in. And there's something about the Wheel of the Year that doing things, pulling collective cards and yet working with them personally feels really appropriate, because everyone who lives in my province, everyone who lives in my city is impacted by the same basic weather patterns. And we're all experiencing fall at the same time, or the approaching fall at the same time. So there is very much a collective energy to this. And also, there is how that collective energy impacts each of us personally. So the idea of pulling collective cards and working with them personally is really quite perfect for me. In my journal right now, I'm setting up my title page for Mabon season, and I destroyed a book to do it. I've been trying to build a seasonal practice for a while, and one of the efforts I made was I bought the Wild Wisdom book by Maya Toll. I adore her work, and I adore the illustrations by checking who the illustrations are by, Kate O'Hara. But when I bought the book, I found not all of the correspondences worked, and that's where I think prescriptive things really fail for me, and that's where honestly, I never really recommend prescriptive things for myself. That's why I like this. I've pulled general cards for each of us for a collective, but they will all get personally interpreted, and that personal interpretation adds in the lens of what environment do each of us live in. Not all of us live in a world or a place, a climate, that's the word, my goodness. Not all of us live in a climate where there are 4 seasons. So not everyone is going to feel these shifts as strongly as I do. And not everyone who lives in a climate with 4 seasons is going to feel these shifts as strongly as I do. It's all subjective. It's collective and subjective. And so prescriptive books tend to not work for me, and they tend to not be what I recommend. So I decided to use Maya Toll's Wild Wisdom book as journaling fodder. In the book, there are these gorgeous pages, which I think you're about to see me look at very soon. There are these gorgeous pages. It has a page for each half of the season. So it's got an early autumn, a late autumn, an early winter, a late winter, so on and so forth. And there's 8 of them, which aligns with the Wheel of the Year. So I decided to use those for the title page. The title page isn't quite done. I come back and add something to it at the end of this video. And then otherwise, the page on the left is my reflections. And that's the format I always use at the beginning of my whatever new cycle I'm journaling about. I always start with a reflection page. I think there's so much power in starting from where you are and constantly growing and evolving and changing, and then a title to dedicate to what current cycle I'm starting. And I always cut off the last row of dots so that way I can add a tab. Like I said, I wanted these videos to be reflective of what really goes into them, and sometimes that involves me sitting and thinking and being unsure what to do. On the same vein of myself finding things that are too prescriptive difficult, the same goes for pages and tarot spreads and stuff. I work best if I have things open, and so that way I can flow and follow my heart and do things the way that it makes sense. That is also the way I find I connect best with the cards, in that more open and fluid way. So the reading spread here that I'm creating, I've just added some decoration and I've left it open. I did mess up this title. It's not a reading for Lammas because Lammas season is ending. This will be a Mabon reading, which I did also go in and fix. And the last spread is my tracking spread for my daily seasonal pulls. For For a while now, I pull a daily card from the corresponding Seasons of the Witch Oracle deck that for the season that we're in. So currently at the time you're seeing this, I'm pulling daily cards from the Lammas Oracle deck, the Seasons of the Witch Lammas deck. And then soon I'll be pulling daily cards from the Mabon deck. This goes into me trying to figure out what the seasons are to me and how I want to observe them and work with them, because I do. So how do I want to do that? I need some time to get a feel for it. And I'm thinking, I'm calling them so far the seasons of sacred self-care. That seems to be what makes sense, is how to just generally take care of myself, but I'm honestly not sure. And it's something that is very much up for change, because I have recently had a goddess step forward who I realized has kind of been around for a while and is very associated with the seasons. So and since the time of filming the footage you're seeing, I've expanded my Mabon practice. I don't know when I'm going to talk about it. You'll see the pages of it when I do flip throughs, but I don't know if or when I'm going to talk about it. But I'm using some of the other things from my Atoll's book that does resonate to journey with this goddess and kind of see how that goes. So, but this page specifically, with the general idea of seasons of sacred self-care, and with the idea of I pull a daily seasonal Season of the Witch card, I wanted a place to record them. I wanted a place to write down what they were, perhaps write down the poem that is on each of them, or write down like a little message. I don't know exactly. I think I'm going to try the poem the first time. And here, just to finish up, I always like to put on my title page something of a quote that connects to the season. And then I was deciding here, those pages I mentioned that you see right in front of you now, they all have a little like blurb. And the blurb is like the love story between the sun and the earth, and their love story by season. This little blurb that I'm adding talks about how the earth puts on its leaving coat, and the sun is like, no, you look gorgeous, but this means that you're leaving. And so I just decided to add that. Since that's the last thing I do in this video, it's time to say goodbye for today. Thank you so much for joining me here in the temple today. A huge shout out and thank you to all my subscribers, my Cosmic Coven members, and my clients who make my work possible. If you would like to be one of them, hit that subscribe button, click the join button to check out the Cosmic Coven, and you can find my website linked in the description box below. To check out more videos like the one you've just watched, be sure to check out the goodies on the end screen. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, lots of love. Bye!